Hello, Facebook peeps. We are so excited you're here at the Hope to Hope conference. This is Kim White with the My Sexy Business team, and I'm here with my beautiful co-host,
Christy Bridges from One Moment Wiser. It's good to see you.
We're excited for day number 2 of this awesome sauce conference. We have Tracee Randall on the lineup. She says she can hear us and see us, but we cannot hear her, and she's frozen in time. Beautifully frozen, I might add. So we're trying to work out the technical bugs, and I'm just a show-up princess.
Yes.
And we do not believe in not starting on time, so we are just pressing on. We may have to log Tracee off and on again. I'm not sure what we're going to have to do. But we hope that you're enjoying the conference. We hope that you're, going through the past ones that we did, because this is the third conference, and they have all been so good.
Yes. And if you missed yesterday, check out those videos. It was a good day. It was a good day.
It was an awesome day. And, I know that Tracee Randall's ready to rock this conference. She's ready to absolutely rock the house.
She does that.
She does that everywhere she goes. But I am waiting for her to try again. We are struggling here with the BeLive app. Hopefully this will. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
So excited.
Oh my goodness, we're so excited, and I don't want to delay. You have so much going on. You help me with your introduction so I don't get it wrong. You are the founder and CEO of Millionaire Academy. You are a cancer survivor.
No, but I work with families that are. I educate families on the prevention of cancer. God just put that in my spirit, but I had a bout of skin cancer that my body healed itself. So I guess you could. I don't call myself a cancer survivor. I forget about that. I didn't go through the struggle that most people do.
I didn't forget about it. And you have a wonderful husband of, is it 34?
I think so. I can't remember. I'm terrible.
Well, that's because you're only 34, and so that's an impossible number.
I know.
Exactly. And you are an amazing caregiver. I mean, you just have this whole long list of things, but I tell you what, I can't wait. I hope that you bring Daisy Scout on today.
Because right behind me, scratching to get in. She's so cute. We'll do that at the end. How about that? Because it'll have to be over.
I'll have to live vicariously through Tracee with her puppy, because I can't have one right now, and I want one so bad, but she is so cute.
Aww.
She's a golden doodle?
Yes, a chocolate golden doodle.
Oh.
So cute.
So cute. Well, I don't want to get sidetracked, because I know you've got an amazing, you've got all kinds of stuff going on. You were on Atlanta Live last night. Is that right?
It was amazing. It was my first TV interview, and it was amazing. And yesterday was so filled up, Kim. And by the way, hi, Christy. I've never met you, but I've been watching some of the videos, and it has been amazing conference. I have something I want to share about that. But yesterday was full. I had meetings all day and events all day, and I didn't get a chance to watch any of the conference until 1 a.m. But I had my first TV interview. It was amazing. I think that it was right where God wanted me to be. And, I'm putting on my big girl panties and doing things that I'm scared to do. But it's fun, and hopefully encouraging other women to do that too.
So did you practice a whole lot before your TV interview?
I prayed a lot. Sharing my testimony, it can get discombobulated because there's so much to our testimony. There's so much to our story, right? We could share all day and never really touch the surface of who we are. And so I just really prayed for God to give me clarity and to really focus in, because I had a 15-minute interview, and God knows that's just not enough time. And I and then of course nothing that I thought I was going to say did I say, just like this interview. And but God is good, and it was an amazing time, and I feel really good about it. Which is
He knows what people need to hear, right? Where can we see that replay? Can we see a replay somewhere?
Well, I'm actually, after this interview, I plan on trying to just capsulate my part of the interview, because the whole show was an hour and a half, and I was the last guest. So it's kind of hard to dig in. So I'm going to try, and then I'll post it on YouTube if I can make that happen. We'll see.
Awesome. Oh, yeah. Tag us or
bootleg.
Tag us or tell us where it's at or whatever, so that we can make sure we get everybody like where they can see it.
Definitely.
I will. All right. So ladies, I have to tell you, can I just dig in?
Please. I'm putting my seatbelts on.
Because
I got my mommy arm on.
I'm serious, right? Kevin Christie. So last night, of course, I had my interview, and God really worked through me, I believe. And then I tried to watch some of the conference before I went to sleep, and I just was exhausted. After I do something like that, I know you know how it is, the adrenaline, and then you crash. And so I woke back up at 1, and I started at the beginning and saw the technical difficulties that you had with Araya and how you push through. And then I fell asleep again, and I woke back up at 4 a.m. And I said, all right, I'm going to listen some more. And I'm getting major chills right now, because oh my God, listen, if you could feel what I feel right now. I first listened to a little bit of Dr. Maria and kind of fell asleep, no offense, but then I woke back up and I listened to the interview with Connie Myers. And I want to tell you, that was the most powerful interview. And then I went back and listened to Dr. Maria, and I was wide awake. I listened to both of those interviews, and I fell asleep. And I had 4 vivid dreams to share with you about this conference. Vivid in living color. And I woke up this morning going, oh my God, I have to tell you ladies this, because I know without a shadow of a doubt that those dreams were prophetic. And in the dream, every dream, I was working very hard to get to my laptop to be interviewed. We were in different places, exotic places, crazy places, and that's not even important, but I couldn't get to, there were things holding me back from getting to my laptop. And girl, when I tell you that I went through an obstacle course where I was bleeding and sweating, and people were attacking me, and people were grabbing my legs. I was in mud, and you were, and Kim, you were over there going, why isn't she here? I know she's going to be here. And I kept going, I'm here, but you couldn't hear me and you couldn't see me. And 4 vivid dreams where I never made it to my laptop. And when I woke up, my heart is beating right now. When I woke up from every dream, I was sweating. My heart was beating. I couldn't breathe. And I listened to God, and I want to share with you what he told me about this conference. He said, the Spirit of the Lord said to me this morning, in the wee morning of the hours after every dream, that this conference is going to break generational curses off of families. You told me yesterday that this was world changing. And if I could be honest, Kim, I thought everybody thinks their conference is world changing. I know the Princess Conference, right? And I know it was good, but this conference is world changing. After watching those sessions yesterday, and I know I'm just going on and on, but I want you to hear what the Lord said. The Lord said to tell the people that if they've experienced a loss, a major loss, and they need healing and forgiveness, they need to forgive someone, and it may be God. That this conference is, and that session, and I think there's more to come, is going to break off, and God's going to intercede on their behalf, and they'll finally be free of guilt, of unforgiveness, of hurt and pain. And it might be a loved one like you've experienced and Connie experienced, but it may not be the death of a loved one. It may be that they've lost them while they're still living. It may be that they've lost them through Alzheimer's or dementia like I have, my mom. Or it may be that there's a child that's gone somewhere and they've lost them, or they feel like they've lost them. It may be a job. Maybe they've lost a job and they are hopeless. And also I got a real strong this morning when I was writing my notes, which I'm not surprised that you couldn't hear me, because guess what? That was part of the process, right? I was like, really, God? Because I fought last night to get on the show, in my dreams all night long. But I also heard in my spirit that if someone's has experienced a loss of a home through fire, or even just through the loss of a home from financial reasons, that God's going to restore everything back to them. And this conference is going to be a place where their mindset will shift. Yes. And that all of that's going to be restored, maybe not tomorrow, but it'll be restored mentally for them. And it's a conference of redemption and restoration. And the enemy wants to try to stop it. And here's the last thing. I want the people from this to go back and listen to those sessions that they have missed, and listen as much as they can, but they have to listen to Connie's session. I have to just say that they have to. That's session 7. Hear with your heart, not your ears. Be present, take notes, and ask God what he wants you to hear. Yes. And he will show you. And so that's all. I just had to get that off my chest.
Wow. You are so amazing to me. And I have to tell you, I know that you are so much connected to us. I have known that when we actually spoke at a conference. That's how we met.
Right.
And I have never not known you, I guess I can say. You are amazing. I thank you for sharing that, because that's going out on a limb to share something like that. We do believe it's world changing. And we do believe it's because we have the right intention, we have the right motives. We're not here to sell or to recruit or to do any of that. And the truth is, those things are just fine. We're not saying that's a bad thing. We're just saying this is not where it's at. This is to make connections and help people learn how amazing you all are. Because I think that's the thing, is everybody that's come on, everybody that's asked to be on the Hope to Hope, they mean something to us. Like, they mean something. They've done something in their life to influence us, and we want to share that with the world. And you are definitely an influencer of influencers. You have I think you still don't know. I think that's the truth of the matter. I think you still don't know how amazing you are. You have come through a lot, and you are going through a lot right now. I know you're open about it, so I'm not really telling a secret, but you're struggling with taking care of your mom, who on a daily basis, it's a battle because of the Alzheimer's.
Right.
And it's wearing, it's exhausting. And yet you still keep showing up. You still keep showing up and being absolutely amazing and helping all these people get through things while you're going through something that's pretty major. And I don't want to miss that. Like, I don't want that to be, I don't want us to just go past that quickly, because so many people right now, yes, or when they listen to this, they have something major going on, and they think, there's no way to be a blessing to someone else, or there's no way to encourage someone else when I'm going through something.
Right.
And yet you're proof that you can show up anyway.
Well, thank you, Kim. And, I have to just be honest. for me, it's healing to share it. If I just sit in my house trapped in this world that my mom lives in, and I don't, help someone else get through it, then I would just roll up in a ball. I'd curl up in a ball and wish that I were, not where I'm at. And, when I went to go get my mom in September, I had no idea what this was going to mean. And I have to tell you that this is terrible to say, but I'm just going to say it because I have to be honest. I do love a challenge. And my challenge was I wanted to turn my mom around. I wanted to be the person that fixes it. I wanted to be the fixer. And I think as women, so many times we want to be the fixer. And when we can't fix something, we feel like we are not good enough anymore. We're not worthy. And, and so I brought her here, and I really believed that in 90 days, I'd have my mom back. And I would also, this is so tacky to say, but it's the truth. I would also prove something to myself and to other people that I could do it, right? And so I don't have really, everyone says it's really honorable to take care of your parents, and maybe it is. I don't feel like I'm doing it for honorable reasons, but I'm doing it. And so I did turn her around physically. Oh my God, she's incredibly healthy, off 6 medications under my watch, but mentally, I don't know. And so the Hope to Hope conference is, about, well, if I can't fix my mom, then how am I going to live with that moving forward? And the way I think that I do that is by reaching out to other people and saying, this is what works for me in dealing day to day with my mom. This is what I'm going through. How can I help you make your life better? And I was going to say, I joined this group online of support for caregivers. And I'm reading these posts, and these people are hopeless. And they're hating their loved one, and they're hating their lives, and they're just, some of the disparity that's there. And so I'm really just asking God, show me how I can, even if I don't turn my mom around, which I would love to be able to do still, not giving up hope of that. But even if I don't, how can I help other people, I don't know.
Well, and you're handling it so gracefully, but yet so transparently. I think that's one of the keys to our influence, is when we're able to be vulnerable and say, this is really hard and it stinks. Like, this is not something that's all, rainbows and lollipops, and we just think, well, she's just perfect. Because, looking from the outside, I'll just tell you the outside view of you. On the outside view, you are absolutely gorgeous. You have it all together. You have everything going for you. You can't relate to me because I have this problem, and you're perfect. And so when you come on and you bust that myth, and you're honest and vulnerable, and you share that this is a struggle or whatever the struggle is, it's so powerful, because then people can say, oh, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that's going through this thing, because I'm positive that has to be how it feels. It has to be that you're the only one.
Very secluded when you're a caregiver for someone with Alzheimer's. I'll give you this great example. Sometimes it's kind of good that she doesn't remember, because I am so not perfect. I suck at this in so many ways. But I forgive myself too. God gave me the grace to forgive myself. And I think that this is a message that everyone needs to hear, no matter what they're going through. Because I think so many times, and especially, with this and maybe, with any tragedy, like, you have guilt because you allowed your son to go do what he did, or, there's guilt. And so when I am so impatient with my mom. Like yesterday, we're getting ready to go somewhere. She's slow as molasses. My biggest deal is I'm not late for anything. I'm early. And that's just me. I don't like being late. When I'm late, it makes me cranky. So I have to remind her, put on your coat, because she doesn't know it's cold outside. I have to remind her, go get your purse, put on your, get this, get that. And it's like, and then I've got Scout jumping on my little dog, and I got, 10 purses, because I'm on my way to an event and taking her because she needs to get out. And then all this stuff, and we get out to the car, which is a huge process. I'm like tense, and we're right on time. And she looks at me and she goes, "I gotta pee." And I'm just like,
no.
What the hell are you doing? This is what I said. You've got to pee? Why didn't you tell me before I fought Scout to get you outside of the house? And I started yelling at my mom, y'all. You are obnoxious as hell. And the whole time I'm doing it, I'm going, oh God, let her forget this part. I cannot stop myself. And it's not funny because I'm crying. So I go back in the house, and she goes, no, I'm going to get in the car and I'm going to pee all over myself in the car. And I go, no, you're not. Get back in the house. We're just going to be late, and your fault. So I'm just being transparent. So she goes back in the house, and I'm yelling at her the whole time, feeling like a big, horrible person. But I cannot stop myself because the tension is so high. And I go, I've got to think of everything, Mom. I've got to think of your purse. I've got to think of your coat. Now I got to remind you to pee. So anyway, she gets in there and she yells back, I hate it here. I'm going home. And I'm going, you ain't got no home. I'm the only thing you got. So then I get in the car. So when she pees, I get in the car. I'm like, how quick is she going to forget that? Because I can't deal with the rest of this day. She forgets it within 5 minutes of being in the car, y'all.
Oh, that's a blessing.
Oh my God, yes. It's the only blessing of Alzheimer's, I'm going to tell you. The only blessing. And then I'm so loving to her, and I'm like, oh Mom, you look so pretty. And she does. She's beautiful. She doesn't look like she's sick. That's the other part of it. She does not look sick. And so you just forget. Anyway, so I wanted to share that story because I know there are other people out there that do that, and then they feel guilty all day. I let go of it immediately. I just said, what can I do to make her happy now? And she forgot it, thank God. And, I don't beat her or anything. I don't want anybody to be calling,
Right.
It was just that moment.
Well, you have a lot of pressure. And I have to tell you, you are so adorable, even talking about like yelling at your mom, because your mom looks like she's perfect. Mm-hmm. Like she does not look like there's a problem. And I'm sure that that's part of your frustration, is that talking to her from minute to minute, she's fine.
Yeah.
It's just the totality of the situation that's the problem.
Yeah.
And you being the caretaker instead of her being the mama, you're kind of being the mama.
Right.
And I know that is very hard, but I think how many people out there, have a meltdown like that and yell at their parents or yell at their kids, right, or yell at their husband, or, and I think, you are so real. I think that's one of the things that I can't help it. I am a, what are we, groupies? I don't know what we are. I guess we're your groupies, because I am such a fan of yours because of the fact that you are real. You are so honest about the things that are going on, to where people that are going through that go, oh, even though she looks perfect, you look perfect. You can tell them that you had a meltdown.
Yeah.
And so here's my big question though, is what do you do to set yourself up to not have those kind of meltdowns? Because I know that I know that you do not do enough taking care of you. because there's no way possible you can with all the stuff you have going. And so
I do take care of me. I put Tracee first. I do. And I have I'm very structured. The way that I avoid, and I just know that if someone isn't naturally this way, then they definitely have to make these changes to make it happen. Because if you are not structured and organized, then you'll have meltdowns every day. And I can't afford to do that. It is exhausting to have that. And even though I joke about it, there is that I should do better. I mean, I let it go. I let it go. But, you do feel like, wow, what could I have done to avoided that? That's not going to happen again. It's hurtful. And one day, with the grace of God, she'll remember it. And then what? If I have and then, if you say it to a loved one, if you have that kind of meltdown to someone that doesn't forget, the power of life and death are in our tongue. And those words can sting and hurt forever if you're not careful. So you can do that, as you said, to a child, to your spouse, to a friend, and have that kind of meltdown, which is easy to do, and they take it to heart and never let it go, and now you've ruined a relationship. And so, I think it's important, no matter whether you're dealing with someone with Alzheimer's or just living life, that you're organized. And when, what I say is when something happens like that, I just know that, okay, I'm committed to waking up 15 minutes earlier than normal. I'm committed now to making, that next thing. And I do checklists in my house. I've got whiteboards. Every morning I get up and I say, here's where we're going to go. Here's what we're going to do. And see, if you had children that are young, why not do the same thing? Why not make that control in your house where they're prepared for the world? Here's what you're going to put a whiteboard in your child's room. Tomorrow, here's what we're going to do. Here's what I expect from you. Here's what you need to do to prepare. And if you organize, and for me, I get my sleep. Now, I know last night I woke up, but when I wake up like that, I know that God's done it. But I'm in bed by 10:30 every night, which, I don't stay up all night. I sleep. I take my nutrition without fail. I take care of me. I do. But I think being organized and having your household organized, our whole household since mom came is run by whiteboards. And, I also was caregiver for 3 teenage boys that were dealing with drug abuse, cocaine, alcoholism. When they lived with us for that period of time, it was 5 total years that we had that, plus my 2 teenage boys. I run 3 businesses. Now at that point I wasn't taking care of me because I didn't understand, and I had that crash. So I learned, but I also had them all on a schedule, and they called me Sarge. I didn't like it, but I knew that I had to do that in order for them to be healthy and heal.
Yes. Well, and that's the thing, that if you're not born organized, it's a struggle to learn those tricks, because you've got to know what they are. And I'll be honest, I'm not a born organized person, but I live by a whiteboard, and I live by sticky notes. Like, I have something called sticky note time that I literally go through and decide what I don't have to do, what I shouldn't be doing, and what needs to come off. That's one of my first things I do on my sticky note time, is to find out what needs to be eliminated. Right. Because I want to do everything.
Right.
I want to be a superhero. I want to be
super housewife, super worker.
Exactly. I want to be like the best in every arena and just, rock everything. But reality is, I'm just a princess. And I can't do it.
Stuck with the same 24 hours everybody else is.
Exactly. Yeah. So when you talk about those kind of things, where would you suggest someone who doesn't know how to get organized. That's the thing. It's a learned behavior for me. And I'm messy, like by nature. I always have a mess on my desk. I want it to be clean.
Right.
Like I desire to walk in and have one of those like modern offices where everything is, shiny and just nothing anywhere. But reality is I'm a princess. I keep going back to that. And I have stuff. I have so many projects going that, I have paper piles, or I have, this or that. So how would you suggest someone starting? Because when you're talking about a caregiver, when you're talking about a parent, when you're talking about, a wife or a husband, you're talking about a lot of things that need to be organized.
Right.
But how do you start? Because someone who's listening that's already organized, we may not be telling them anything.
Right.
But the ones that are like me that had to learn, where do you start?
Well, I think it begins to start, everything for me begins to start with your mindset, because what you think about yourself becomes your reality. And if you're spending your whole time saying, I'm not organized, I'm messy, I'm this, I'm that, you're going to continue to be that way. So I think it first starts with the way you think. And what do you want to change? Do you want to change? And if you want to become a more organized person, which will create abundance, organization will create abundance in your life. If you can believe that, because you can get so much more done, and you're not spending time reacting instead of acting. You're reacting to those things that you forgot to do. I would say that, you want to start by saying those faith formations out loud in the mirror. I am organized. I am punctual. I am on time. What are those things about yourself that you want to change? Starts in your mind. Look in the mirror. Write them down first. Everything that you want to change about yourself. I am organized. I am punctual. I am on time everywhere I go. And you begin every morning to say those things about yourself out loud in the mirror. First of all, that's going to just make it so much easier, because now you're no longer saying those things about yourself that you want to change, right?
Oh, I so agree.
And then and honestly, that's the practical side. What will happen when you begin to do that is things are going to flow into your inbox and flow into your timeline, and you'll become more aware of things. It'll just happen organically, because I could, unless you had all day, I could probably, what's going through my mind? How can I create a package where I can teach people how to be organized? And I'm thinking, holy cow, just no, I can't do that. I got crazy people behind me, and behind doors is crazy people and dogs. Serious, all of them that live in there.
Oh, I'm gonna just come over and I'm gonna pet the puppy while you teach me how to be more organized. Since you have all this extra time.
They're listening too. But anyway, I say, I love your sticky note idea. Begin to write down the things you want to accomplish the night before. What really is important for the next day. Write those things down. And I do have sticky notepad next to my bed, because if I wake up in the middle of the night or somewhere and I think, I've got to do this, I just write it down. So sometimes by morning, I might have a stack of 8 or 9 sticky notes. And this is just a practical thing. So I have 8 or 9 sticky notes next to my bed. And then when I come into my desk, I sit down and I take those sticky notes, and on a sheet of paper, I write them all down again. And then I cross off those things that really don't matter, and I prioritize. But I also love to surprise myself with something fun, because those things that we have to do, even us organized people, we're like, whatever, because I like to have fun. So I'll say, I'm going to do 3 of these things, and then I'm going to surprise myself with something fun to do. And it might be a post on social media about something fun, or it might be going in and making me a cup of tea, or, taking a walk outside or whatever. So I, all day long, see, you think I don't oh, I take care of Tracee all day long. I do 3 things I don't want to do, and then I do 1 thing that Tracee wants. And
Love it.
and I don't know if this is helping people get organized, but I do go through my list. Nobody wants to go through a list. Nobody wants to do those things. I don't want to call my CPA this afternoon. No offense. But I have to. So I think part of being unorganized is you kind of don't want to do those things, so you just don't, and you know what I mean? You don't want to do them. But do you want abundance? What do you want? Do you want to live a life of abundance in your relationship with your husband, your wife, your children, your mother, your whatever, financially? If you do, if that's what you want, then you have to change. You just have to change.
Well, and I think that's a good word because, do we really want it? Do we really want what we're asking for? And I think that's, and I'm talking, a lot of years ago, decades ago, that I started learning how to get organized because I wanted certain things out of life. And that was my motivator. It wasn't that I could just wake up and go, oh, that's, we'll just go over here and organize that. I had to go, oh, I don't know how to do that. So I've got to step back and figure out all the steps that go into doing that and figure out what step goes first. And, it was a struggle when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I get tickled now because so many people tell me now, you're just so organized. And I'm like, yes, I am.
Own it.
That's right. But it does make me go back. You're making me remember, before when it wasn't so, and what the struggle was. Like the struggle when I was young, and now all of a sudden I've got a family to take care of, and oh, you need clean clothes by the time you leave for work. Not like right. And so I think it's funny now, but that's actually a true story. I had to figure out you have to do laundry before you need it. You have to. And I think that as the pressure rises in our lives, as the things are added to our plate, whether it be business, on top of caregiving, on top of family, on top of puppies, on top of, on and on and on, I think it requires more.
Yeah.
It does require more.
Well, and I love that. And, as you were talking, it made me think of something else that I think might set people free a little bit. Also, you've got to let go of those things that don't matter. And so my house is not perfect at all. It's not. And when I have people over, I say, if a door is shut, do not open it.
I love that.
I will tell you.
I love that.
Do not open it. So, and you have to let go, because I think so many times, especially as women, if our house isn't perfect, if our, if your closet is, and you spend so much time worrying about those things that do not matter. And I think as you have something come into your life, like, as your life changes and something happens that makes your, those pivotal moments in your life, like having someone come to live with you, like my mom, that you just have to reprioritize. You have to let go of some things. And what are you willing to let go of? Because you can organize yourself to death, really, and feel like you have to be perfect. Organization does not mean you're perfect. It means you go to bed and leave dishes in the sink. And it doesn't matter about those dishes. Yeah. Because what matters is what God's called me to do. And those dirty dishes, they'll be there again tomorrow night and tomorrow night.
Somebody keeps doing that.
I just want to jump in for a second because you hit on something that I think we operate in part. We realize as our plates get fuller and fuller that we need to take some things off of them. But so often we say repeatedly, oh, someday I need to get back to blah, blah, blah. Until it becomes kind of this depressing mantra that we tell everybody, like an excuse for not doing it now,
oh, don't mind those dirty dishes. Someday I've got to get better at that. Someday I'll get back to, I used to be, and I do it, and so I'm talking to myself here too, but we have to, if we're going to let go of it and not change that behavior right now, then stop talking about it.
Yeah.
Someday when it's time, right? Someday when it's time, and you have that extra energy, or some neighbor who just really likes to come wash dishes, then that's the time when it'll get done. But don't talk about it forever between now and then, because that is a demoralizing thing that we do to ourselves.
It's so good. Yeah, that's so good. And so what I do is I have a big bucket outside, like a big white bucket. And when I have people coming over and there's dishes in the sink, go in there, put it all in the bucket, put it out in the garage, and that's how I get rid of my dirty dishes. In fact, my husband will clean out the garage. Now my house isn't that, it's people come in. But my husband's like, what is this big box of dishes out here? And I had done it like about probably 6 months earlier. I had put a box, I cleaned out the sink and put it out in the garage. And my intention was to go get it and put it in the dishwasher. Well, I forgot. So after 6 months of never having those dishes in the house, I'm like, throw them away. Because I had them for 6 months, and I certainly don't want to clean them now. But, I love what you said, Christy, because it's so important. Because if those things are like an albatross hanging over your head and you think, I'll do this, I love that. I live in the now, y'all, and I'm 58, and every single moment has to be so intense for me. I love living alive, and just like those dreams, I loved those dreams. They were, even though it was a horrible dream, and I loved them because it made me feel so alive. And we waste so much time worrying about things that just don't matter. What has God called us to do? Who are we? Why are we here? And how and I didn't come out until I was 55. I spent the first 50 years of my life hating myself, depression, panic, anxiety, even a whole 3 years of never leaving my house except going where I had to go and hiding all the fears. And when suddenly I was delivered from that, now it's like, oh my gosh, just talking to my husband on the phone just is, I do my best to experience every single moment. And when we do that, it's just, I don't know, it just makes life worth living, We get caught up in just the day-to-day.
You get me tickled, though, because and not over the fact that you struggled, because that is a real thing.
Oh yeah.
But I get tickled at the day I met you. You walked into the room, you owned the room, you owned the stage, you owned every person in there was not going to even dare say anything. We weren't going to miss anything you said. And I think that is such a contrast to your view from my view. Like, sometimes I think we have to look through somebody else's view to be able to see what God has said about us, because he said all that stuff to you long before you walked out on that stage. And just the fact that you are still being so real low about putting dishes in the garage. And yet you walked out in your little sassy self on that stage, and there wasn't anybody that wasn't going to pay attention.
Well, I hid from people for so long that, I feel like I have to make up for lost time, really, truly. I was in drama in high school. I always wanted to be the center of attention, but I never had the guts to audition. Not once. I was in drama, and I was always the backstage, the props lady. I did everything with excellence. No one knew that, I just, every night that the plays were going on and the applause was happening, I wanted to be out there, but I couldn't. And so I couldn't even look in the mirror. And, I couldn't eat at the table with people because if I look down at my thighs, I mean, this sounds so stupid, but I look at my thighs and I go, if I eat right now, people are going to think, why is she eating? Why is she eating? She's so fat and so ugly. Why would she even eat? And so I couldn't even eat dinner with people. It was horrible. And so when God releases you from that, whew, you're going to command that stage, girl, because I don't care what any of you think about me anymore. Thank God I'm free of that.
Yes. Well, I think you are beautiful inside and out, and I'm so proud of you. You have not only, rocked the stage where we were at, but you have rocked the Hope to Hope conference yet again.
Yeah. Thank you for having me again. I'm so honored.
Oh my goodness, I cannot get enough of you. If anybody has any question about it, I should be like the president of your fan club because I think that the fact that you're transparent, the fact that that you are inspiring to me in a way that is very personal, because a lot of the struggles that you talk about are things that I might not have found my way out the same way, but being 51 and telling anyone you're a princess sounds like you have to be a kooky. And so I say it all the more because I want other people to be able to own who they are and not worry about, their thighs, or not worry about, I've gained weight again. And I was looking at the conference yesterday, and I was telling the girls this morning, I said, oh my goodness, I cannot believe, and then I stopped, because it's like, what the truth is? It doesn't matter.
That's right.
It doesn't even matter. We're changing the world. And if I let that stop me, what does that mean for all the people that are listening?
As soon as we start focusing on us, in that self-deprecating way, we cease to focus on the person who actually needs us to just be real. And Tracee, I hide my mail. I end up with boxes of mail in the closet when people come to visit. So don't feel bad about the dishes. But I love that you spoke out some of the insecurities that we all have. We get to where we're more judgy than anybody else could ever be about us. You know what? If somebody else ever said anything like that, they deserve to be run over. And yet we say those things to ourselves.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, and I'm so glad. I'm just grateful that you're the person who listens to what God says now. And that, in the middle of the night when God wakes you up 4 times, you're still listening, so that you can, instead of being insecure and self-focused, you're able to come on something like this and share with someone else what God has said about them. Thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. And, Kim, when I met you at, was that last year or the year before?
I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years. When I met you, you did, when you were telling me about that, it just suddenly dawned on me that truly your power took me to another level too. I mean, I think it's a mutual respect and love and fan club, because I so wanted, probably the reason that you say you're my fan is because I stalked you. That I was like, how can I get her attention? Because I wanted so much to know who you were and how you were so successful and had overcome. And of course, now that I've learned so much more about you than what you can share in 15 minutes on a stage, even more so now. And also, oh my goodness, I've made such good friends from the Hope to Hope conference last year. Oz, and she joined my fasting group, and just some other people that I'm just so grateful, because it's just, I spent my life afraid of women, and now being surrounded by so many women and them learning from me and me learning from them, and I just love it.
It's a sweet spot.
You have a fasting group? Well, no, that's the one thing. It is such a struggle for me. I wake up and I think, I'm going to fast. It's Wednesday and I plan to fast today. And 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm done with that. I figure I talk to God all the time. So fasting as a spiritual discipline just doesn't make any difference. But I know that as a self-discipline, it could really reinforce areas that I sometimes feel out of control in. So you actually have a fasting group. Is it like the once a year 40-day thing, or is it
21-day fasting group for the first 21 days of the year, starting the first Sunday? And actually, now that we're talking about this, I think I'm going to have to do a fasting curriculum right now because after the interview last night, someone did private message me and asked me if she wants to do a Bible study using my fasting, and it's not ready for a Bible study. And I thought, well, so part of me waking up all night was, God, is this something you really want me to do? Because my plate is full, but what am I going to take off my plate to be able to do that? And is it really what he wants me to do? But I really see this is kind of a little confirmation, because this is such an important discipline, spiritual discipline, that will, again, break those generational curses. There's nothing like
hashtag miracle territory, ma'am.
You should call it my plate is full.
So I think I'm going to be working on that, and I don't know if I'll have it ready for this woman that wants it for a Bible study, but I want to be so used, and I've got so much I want to do, so much more.
Well, I can tell you just on a personal note, the first 40 days of every year I do the Daniel fast, and I've done this for years. And the most amazing part about it is that something always changes in me, and something always changes for me. Like there's been something, I'm waiting to tell the story from this year, because I want it to completely finish what is going on, but it's happened. And so it is amazing to me when you step back and you really give all of you, because, we don't like interference with our groceries.
Right.
We don't. Being off of sugar is one of the big ones on the thing, and that's a big deal.
It is. It is a big deal. I love that. And Christy, I do have a book on fasting, and if you'll private message me your address, I'll send it to you, and that'll maybe get you started on.
I would love to
encourage you to do what you want to do with that. It's important. And you don't actually, this is key, you don't have to fast the first of the year. You should fast throughout the year. When should you fast? In times of crisis. When you want to be used by God, when you want God to show you who you are. I'm saying this publicly just for education purposes, but I did fast 3 days prior to the interview last night. You asked me, what did I do to prepare? I fasted Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and to prepare myself for the interview, because to me that was hopefully a pivotal moment in what God's calling me to do. And it gave me the courage to do it. And so you can fast anytime, and you should fast throughout the year. You can fast from sun up to sundown. You could fast a meal. It's not about a 21-day fast or 40-day fast. I'm so not legalistic or religious about it.
That's right.
But it's, privately fasting to just really hear from God, and it will happen.
And it's not a manipulation thing. I just have to say, my somebody who isn't in a relationship with God once asked me about fasting. Well, if God's so powerful, why do you have to fast because you want him to do something? If he wants it done, he'd do it. And I'm like, it's not that thing. It actually, just like prayer a lot of times changes us and aligns our perspective with him. Fasting gets us out of our own way.
Yeah. Well, Jesus fasted. See?
Yeah.
He fasted.
That's not an example. Wow.
Here we are, the week, Passion Week, but Jesus fasted in preparation for what he had to do. Yeah. And, so if Jesus fasted, then by all means, and the Bible clearly says when we fast, when we pray, and when we give, not if. So it's something that I believe, we're all called to do. But, everybody's in a different place in their journey. No condemnation at all. God has to reveal these things to you along the way. And, so.
Oh, I just have to say yet again, you're just adorable.
You're so funny.
I'm glad to get to talk to you.
I think that again, as being a princess, I think I have the coolest friends.
I do too. Oh my goodness.
I can't wait for some of the rest of the guests. I will be listening off and on all day today in between my deal, but I know that the next couple of days I'll be listening at night. And when I can't sleep, which I think a lot of us A+++ personalities don't, our mind never rests. I think this would be an incredible. When I can't sleep, I don't just lay there and go, "Oh, I can't sleep. Wish I could sleep." I literally find something on Facebook or YouTube to listen to, and I'll usually fall right back to sleep, but it's still getting into your subconscious. Your mind is so powerful; it's hearing it even in the subconscious realm. So, I encourage people to listen to this conference, and even if they have to do it as they're going to sleep at night, or if you wake up in the middle of the night, that's what I'm going to do. And honest to goodness, that's probably when I'm going to listen to the conference. I'm going to try to support during the day because I know how important that is. When and if I can, but we're all so busy, and I definitely want to support the conference, but I know that there's some things that God's going to show me in this conference. He's already shown me that, and I love it, so I can't wait for the other guests.
Thank you for fighting through the mud and the whatever made you bleed and to get here, because and I do want to point out, you said that happened 4 times.
4 dreams.
Okay, so you've only spoken twice at Hope to Hope, so I just want to prepare you for that. 2 more times. I'll just take that as a standing appointment.
I'll do anything in the world for you, Kim. And I know, Christy, what you said. When things get better, when things change. But at some point, I would love to be there live and be a bigger part of the conference. Maybe God will work that out in the years to come. No pressure, but but I feel like
maybe we should come to Atlanta and do the next one.
Oh yeah,
man, that would be amazing. Amazing. You guys could stay with me, and I'll put all my dishes in the garage.
As long as I get to sleep with Daisy Scout,
will bite you and lick you to death. So I don't know. Maybe by then she'll be ready. So are you ready to see Daisy Scout?
I am so ready. I have to live vicariously through you.
Here, Scout. Oh my God, she's torn up a whole bunch of stuff in the kitchen. Come here. Let me see. I have a treat. All right, here we go. She is so cute, y'all. But one of the reasons I said yes to Daisy Scout, because I had said I'm not having a dog. I'm not having a plant. I need nothing else. Come here. Here we go. Nothing else that eats or poops or I have to water.
Hi, Daisy. You just don't know I'm your new best friend.
So, you know what? I got her. So my son, Ryan, he's 24 and he lives with us, and he's like, I want a dog for Christmas. And I've said no to him for years. The treat. And
so sweet.
Oh my gosh, she's as fluffy as can be.
And so he said, I want a dog. And I said, all right, if we get the right dog. And the reason I said yes this time is because Mom needed someone that she could love, that would love her back unconditionally, and she would feel it. And she's still a puppy. She's only 5 months old, y'all.
Oh, wow.
She's huge.
Oh, my God.
But my mom loves her.
The tiny thing, too.
My mom loves her, and they have a great relationship. And she's been a huge part of Mom's healing, I think, and will continue to be. But I love her so much.
Oh, my goodness.
Animals are, God was very smart. He made them soft to touch so that we want to pet them. He made them so affectionate so that we'd want to feed them. I mean, there's this symbiotic thing. Our Creator is not new at this. I mean, he just knew what he was doing. Oh my goodness, look at you, baby.
Stacey, I need to pet you.
Oh, well, thanks for letting her have her little debut on Hope to Hope.
Anytime, I'm going to come visit her. I hope you're there too, but I need to see her.
Oh, goodness.
I can't say thank you enough. I think the words feel so lame when I say them because I am so grateful to you. I'm grateful for all the in-between times like that I get to talk to you, and just you're such a blessing to everyone, but you're such a blessing to me. I just am grateful for you.
I feel the same way. I really do. And, you know, of course, having mom has limited my time on Facebook, which has also been kind of freeing, to be honest with you. It's made me realize that there were many times that I was looking down when I should have been looking up.
Yes.
I don't feel guilty about it. It's part of the process. And so now, you know, my time on Facebook is limited. So I love when I see you, and just so grateful for the opportunity to just be able to share. And Christy, you're amazing. You've been amazing during the conference so far. And I'm just going to pray that there are, even though I know the enemy's going to still continue to attack, because here's the deal. He doesn't want this out there. He doesn't want this hope out there. So, you know, be prepared for more technical difficulties, but just keep doing what you're doing, pushing through them, because at some point it's going to happen. And even if it doesn't happen the way you expect it to, you guys are just, you know, I mean, what's supposed to happen is going to happen. God's going to work it all out, and he's going to work everything out together for the good of the conference, which is going to free up some people. I mean, I believe that the word I shared in the beginning, that generational curses. I mean, there are people out there that their families have suffered with lack and poverty and depression and anxiety and, you know, making unwise decisions and just all of those things. I really see prophetically that this conference will release that somehow, some way. I mean, you know, God's got it.
Thank you for sharing that, because it does get discouraging for us when we do have so many technical difficulties and we want to do a good job. And, you know, that's the thing that keeps us going, though, is knowing that it's not about us.
Yeah,
that's right.
And having people like you who are willing to try over and over again.
Yes. Log on 5 times before we get you in.
Well, it helped me to see Araya's little segment. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to give up.
This is how it's going to work.
Yeah,
this is how we do it.
She had her setup, and she said, well, I'm on all the time and it works. And I'm like, well, there's not a princess involved.
It's so frustrating, but you know, I think another thing it shows is being relentless, not giving up. You know, what you're doing is you're showing, hey, I don't care what life throws at me. I'm not gonna never let them see you sweat. I'm just gonna move on and go with it. And oh gosh, I can't remember what it was. There was something that was said. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it. Oh, do it poorly. Oh, that thing about doing it poorly.
Yes.
Listen. I'm kind of mad at you about that. Who said that? Which one of you? I'm so mad at you about that, because honestly, when come here, I gotta hold her because she's biting me. She's love tapping me. But when that girl asked me about the Bible study, I'm like, I just can't do it because it won't be good enough. I can't do it. It won't be good enough, blah, blah, blah. You know, it'll take me forever to get it perfect. And then right after that, I had to hear that do it poorly.
Yeah.
Oh, sugar. And I'm like, oh, crap. Now I got to do this thing poorly. I'm so mad at you. I just remember that.
Everyone gets mad at me when I say that, but I really do teach that. I really do believe it, that if we will just do it to the best of what we can do, that's not an excuse to do it, you know, poorly on purpose.
Right.
But take away the excuses of, you know, technical difficulties or whatever, and do it poorly until you can get better at it.
Yeah. Well, you know, I work for a huge corporation, you know, and I have my own business, but I work for a huge corporation, and And we do that kind of thing, not necessarily that we do things poorly, but we do pilot programs all the time where we get a small group of people to try a new process and work out the kinks for us. And so it's just called collaboration and piloting. But you never get anywhere. You can't fly a big plane until you fly a little one, right?
Good.
And so
I took on the biggest plane I could find.
you can't fly a plane so you can ride a bicycle.
Well, thank you for being with us. We're going to have to we don't want to let you go. We don't want to keep you, but we're going to have to shut it down. The next session is going to be at 10:30 Central Time, 11:30 your time, and 8:30 in Vegas. Thank you again, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
God bless you.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Thank you. This is Kim White with the My Sexy Business team, and
Christy Bridges with One Moment Wiser.
we will be back in the next session of the Hope to Hope conference. And I'm telling you, if you didn't watch this from the beginning, you need to go back and watch Tracee Randall. And if you want to get connected to her, please leave us a comment or message us, and we will make sure you get connected because she is amazing sauce. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.